Today on Judge Faith.
Your Honor, I've been held hostage in this house by my landlord because he's hungry for money and honey. And I believe that I'm the honey, and he got a secret fantasy, a secret crush on me, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
And
Why do you
that's
think
why
he
I've
has
been
a
held
crush on
hostage,
you?
Your Honor.
I mean, because I'm looking at his wife, and she is fabulous.
But she's not this fabulous, though. She's not this fabulous. She's an old fabulous.
And later, his test drive turned into a joyride.
You were test driving the motorcycle, and the cops started chasing you? How did that happen?
I only seen the cop when I passed him. I never once seen the cop get behind.
The light was on, the siren was on. They were probably 30, 40 feet behind him. It was a chase.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Bill Hobbs and his wife Deborah say the defendant took advantage of their kindness, and now she is refusing to pay for damages to their rental house. But defendant Olivia Fields claims her landlord has a crush on her and that he is just trying to get more attention. She is countersuing for harassment.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Hobbs versus Fields.
Thank you, Barbara. Mr. Bill Hobbs?
Yes, Your Honor.
You and your wife, Deborah Hobbs, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
You are suing the defendant, who is a current tenant of yours?
Yes, she is.
For $1,300 for the cost of a garage and window damage at the current place where she resides?
That's correct.
And Miss Olivia Fields, you are suing in your counterclaim for $1,500 for harassment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Mr. and Mrs. Hobbs. Tell me what's going on here.
In February of 2011, I rented one of our houses to the defendant here, and she gave me a list of demands that she wanted, things she wanted done to the house, all of which I met.
How did you find the defendant as a tenant?
Okay, she found my house being advertised on the internet, okay?
Okay, what kind of house is it?
It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And I've owned it for approximately 30 years. I've never had a problem with it. And then when she moves in, the house gets broken into.
May I interject on something, please?
Sure.
If you don't mind. He's a good landlord. As soon as you get a call, he's there, Johnny on the spot. You know, and oh yes.
That's not true.
And we have great repair people that go. We have plumbers, we have electricians, a handyman, and each one of them who do not know one another, they want to know, Mr. Hobbs, when is she going to leave? Because everybody wants her, okay? It's a problem. Everyone wants her.
Oh.
Like your husband.
What do you mean by,
Like
what do you mean
my
by want her?
husband.
Like, so everyone's attracted to her.
They're attracted to her, and they say she walks around with hardly anything on. Okay, 1 adult, 3 kids. She's got a job. Now, I'm pregnant, quit the job. What a luxury. I raised 2 kids and worked for 20+ years. But it's a luxury. You get to stay home and take care of your babies, okay? And then you want to tear up and do damages? And feel like we're responsible because someone breaks into your house.
What's going on?
That's what renter insurance
So you moved
is.
in.
You live there.
And you said that there were things about the home that you didn't like, and you started talking to the plaintiffs about
Actually,
it?
that's not how it happened,
Okay,
Your Honor.
explain to me what happened.
I lived in Savannah, Georgia. I am a Section 8 tenant. I do, you know, I get assistance from the government, and I was relocated my family. I lived in Savannah for 11 years. And
Do you work now?
Yes, ma'am. I work for myself, and
what do you
I'm
do?
not currently I do customer service part-time, but I have a home-based business that I'm not unable to work with because of the living conditions and everything that I've been going through with Mr. Hobbs.
So are you employed now or not?
Yes, ma'am. I am. Yes, I am part-time.
Okay, so
yes,
you
ma'am.
work part-time from your home, or?
Yes, ma'am. I do customer service, mystery shopping.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I'm customer service. I go into various places and evaluate the customer service on the employees.
Okay.
That's what I do now.
Okay.
But, Your Honor, I've been held hostage in this house by my landlord because he's hungry for money and honey. And I believe that I'm the honey, and he got a secret fantasy, a secret crush on me, Your Honor. And that's why I've been held hostage, Your Honor.
I mean, because I'm looking at his wife, and she is fabulous.
But
so
she's not
I
this
just want to tell
fabulous,
you.
though. She's not this fabulous.
I don't know about this secret crush.
She's an old fabulous. The harassment, he's been harassing me. And like I said, I believe he has a secret crush on me.
You are his tenant.
Yes,
you still live there
yes,
right now.
He sued me 3 times, Your Honor.
What is he, I'm just curious about this because you keep talking about this secret crush. What has he done that leads you to believe he has a crush on you?
Because he won't fix anything, but then at the same time...
What does that have to do?
I'm not finished, Your Honor.
But if somebody has a crush on you, wouldn't he be the opposite of that?
He won't release me from the lease. I asked to move from the property.
But why would you want her, if she's giving you all these issues and all these problems, and she clearly doesn't want to be there, and this is a home that you've owned for 30 years,
yes,
why not get someone in there who's a better tenant, who you think would take better care of your home, and who actually wants to live there?
First of all, it was a matter of principle. But then it got to the point, it was when you speak of harassment, harassment goes 2 ways. I've had the city come out, look at the property.
That's right.
They found nothing wrong with it.
That's a lie. You had to fix those windows.
Excuse me, Ms. Fields.
Yes, ma'am.
I've had the air department come out and check the quality of air in the house. They found nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with the house.
I'm just curious as to how you plan to handle this when she eventually leaves the home, which, based on this conversation that we're having now, I hope happens soon.
Mm-hmm.
It will.
Oh,
We just want the
already in
damages
effect,
taken
lady.
care of.
That's fine.
Tell me about my children. Since she bought my children about me being a single parent, Your Honor, here's report cards from all 3 of my children. They're 7, 9, and 11. I have straight A, high honor roll children who are in theme schools. My daughter has 2 scholarships already for college. So yes, I might be a single parent, but my children are very smart, very gifted, and very talented.
Let me get to the very essence of this lawsuit, which is the damages.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
But when I tried
let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I read your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
The plaintiff is saying that one of your visitors broke the garage, and you said in your answer that your friend did visit you and break the garage. Do you have a bill for when you had the garage fixed after the incident with her friend staying in the home?
I do, Your Honor. Let's see.
How much did it cost to repair the garage?
It was $708 and some change.
Okay, so
and you're also suing for a window replacement,
That's right.
$250.35. Tell me about that.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
She calls and rings the phone from 6 in the morning to wee hours of the night, to the point I get up and answer the phone.
It's not worth it for your own peace of mind to keep someone in an apartment in a home that doesn't want to be there over $1,300. It's just not worth it.
And later, was his Good Samaritan act just good acting?
He thought I was at fault for wrecking his bike and might even carry me up the muddy embankment.
Because the man has a heart. Is he supposed to leave you down in the embankment and let you just lie there?
Plaintiff Bill Hobbs and his wife Deborah say the defendant is refusing to pay for damages to their rental house. But defendant Olivia Fields claims her landlord is just trying to get attention from her. She is countersuing for harassment.
Do you know who broke into the house?
I don't know who broke it. They broke in and stole my 2 flat screen TVs. So their little $250 window that he's talking, what about my $2,000 TVs that got stolen out of there, Your Honor? I don't know the people who broke into the house. And when after the house got broken in, he fixed the window. He never asked me for any money. Your Honor, he sued me 3 times. This is part of my countersuit, though, but Your Honor,
I'm just curious about something, because I don't even have $2,000 TVs. You have $2,000 TVs and you're not even paying your rent? How does that
I had 2 flat screen TVs. Those are my first 2 TVs. Yeah, that's okay.
No, because you're spending money on $2,000 TVs and you're not paying your rent. I haven't always been unemployed. And then I'm not even unemployed. I'm self-employed, so I have not always been self-employed.
Your Honor, you've always been on that supplement.
Doesn't matter. Are you mad?
Where are your priorities?
I'm just curious about
your priorities.
I've been working as a receptionist for 3 years. Before I moved, when I moved up here, I was working. So I had a job, Your Honor. I haven't always just lived off the government. I utilize the programs that will help me come to the next level in my life to become a homeowner. That's what I'm working on. Becoming a homeowner, becoming self-sufficient. Becoming a homeowner and becoming self-sufficient.
Well, I think you need to take care of the home you're in first.
I did, ma'am.
Before you can get a home of your own to take care of. You need to show yourself that you can take care of your own. The home you're living in now.
The house that I'm renting, I'm the one who painted the house, Your Honor. I'm the one who painted the rooms on the inside. I'm the one who's been asking him to do the minor upgrades to the property, Your Honor.
She calls and rings the phone from 6 in the morning to wee hours of the night, to the point I get up and answer the phone. Why are you calling this number this time of night?
And what I'm telling you all, respectfully, you're suing over $1,300. It's not worth it for your own peace of mind to keep someone in an apartment in a home that doesn't want to be there over $1,300. It's just not worth it. based on everything I've heard. She's not responsible for the broken window. I understand that you say someone broke into the home and that she was living there at the time, but you haven't proved to me that she was responsible for that break-in. The defendant says she doesn't know who broke in the home, and you have to come into court and show me that somehow she's connected to that break-in and the damage of the property to the window, and you didn't do that. So on that, for the window, I'm not awarding you anything. On the garage door installation, however, the defendant admits in her answer that her friend did break the garage door, and you submitted evidence to show that you paid $708 to have the garage door repaired. So I am going to award you $708 for the garage door. All of the other things you're suing for, lost wages, no. Gas money, no. And painting, exterior and trim repairs, zero on that. I am going to award you your court fees as well. On your counterclaim for harassment, zero, because all you have described to me are efforts made by the plaintiff and his wife to collect money they think you owe to them. I'm ruling now.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
interrupt me.
Yes, ma'am.
All you have described to me are efforts made by the plaintiff and her husband to collect money that they think you owe them. And I understand the reasons why are you think that everyone wants you and that you're the best thing that's happened in Atlanta since sliced bread.
It's not all just that. It's not just that. I have proof, but
don't interrupt me again. So in your counterclaim, zero. My judgment is for the plaintiff, $708 plus court fees. Have a good day.
Plaintiff Joey Honecker says the defendant took his motorcycle for a test drive and crashed it. He's suing for the value of the bike. But defendant Jesse Hunter claims he lost control of the bike because of faulty brakes. He's countersuing for medical expenses.
Mr. Honecker, you're suing the defendant for $2,053, the value of a motorcycle you say he damaged. Mr. Hunter, you say the plaintiff's bike was faulty, so you don't owe, and you're actually countersuing for $3,000 in medical expenses.
Yes,
Mr. Honecker, we'll start with you. You owned a motorcycle.
Yes.
And you put it up on Craigslist?
Yep.
An ad on Craigslist? What was the ad about?
It was an ad for sale or for trade.
And what were they trading?
They were trading a Acura. It was a car.
Where did you meet to test drive the bike?
At a local Walmart.
What city is this?
Urbana.
Okay.
As he was test riding the motorcycle, he was going up and down the road a couple times, and
What kind of road was this?
It was just a city road. It was about just regular, normal city road, yeah. And I was driving the car at the same time, going the opposite direction. He came around the corner flying about 60 to 80 miles per hour with a cop following him.
Next, Judge Faith puts the brakes on this fast talker.
You wasn't even there neither. See, that's the whole thing. I've never got to speak. You wasn't there just as well as he.
I didn't have to be there. I look at the evidence. People come into court. I'm not at the scene of every incident, every accident that comes before me. My job is to look at the evidence, hear the testimony from the witnesses, and make a decision, sir. You were charged with a felony, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were charged with more than one felony, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
2 of those felonies related to you evading the police and not responding when they signaled you to stop, sir.
Plaintiff Joey Honecker says the defendant took his motorcycle for a test drive and crashed it. He's suing for the value of the bike. But the defendant, Jesse Hunter, claims he lost control of the bike because of faulty brakes. He's countersuing for medical expenses.
You were test driving the motorcycle and the cops started chasing you? How did that happen?
I only seen the cop when I passed him. I never once seen the cop get behind me. Still, the cop.
So you're saying that the cops were chasing the defendant?
Yes.
How far behind the defendant were the police officers? Were they on motorcycles or in a police car?
It was in a police cruiser.
Did they have their lights on?
Yeah, the light was on, the siren was on. They were probably 30, 40 feet behind him, so it was really close. It was a chase.
You didn't see the flashing lights behind you?
They were never behind me.
What time of day
I
was
passed
this?
the cop. As I was coming back in towards town.
What time of day was this?
I passed the cop.
It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock. I mean, the sun was still up and everything, yeah. He looked right behind him.
So you're saying you passed the cops?
I passed him when I come back
but
up
you never
the road.
saw them directly behind you pursuing you?
Never directly behind me. I turned to the right on a side road and didn't make it probably a mile and a half down it and stuff, and there was a curve to the left. And when I hit the brakes to slow down for the curve and stuff, the wheel was shaking, it wouldn't slow down and stuff. I did it about 2 or 3 times and stuff, and it shoved me off to the right side of the road into the gravel, and then I went over a bridge.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, I heard the
dude.
sirens go behind.
Hold on a second. Who are you?
I'm his girlfriend.
Okay, step up, come over. You witnessed this as well?
Yes.
Okay, what did you see?
I stayed in the car while he went and test drove it, so I didn't see like all that, but I did hear the sirens come.
You saw him test driving the motorcycle and he was going fast.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Speed limit on that road's 55, Your Honor.
And how
no,
fast
it's
was
actually
he going?
35.
And there was faulty brakes on the bike. There was no speed
There was
involved.
nothing
So
wrong with the
you
bike.
ended up crashing the motorcycle, correct? And you're saying it was not because the cops were chasing you and
No,
you were
Your
running
Honor,
away
there was
from
no
them.
speed involved, and
Because
the
you
cop
didn't
was
notice
never
all of
behind
that,
me.
but you noticed that there was an issue with the bike. That's
Yes,
what you
Your
were
Honor.
focused on?
I didn't even go 2 miles on the bike.
You know I don't believe a word you're saying right now, right?
There was never a cop behind me, never was a cop that come to the hospital or nothing.
What happened?
And,
Were you injured in the accident?
Yes, I was injured in the accident. I was life-flighted from the accident, and if he thought I was at fault for wrecking his bike, then why'd he even carry me up the muddy embankment and stuff and everything?
Well, because
to
the man has a
helicopter?
heart. Is he supposed to leave you down in the embankment and let you just lie there? What was the issue with the bike? You said you noticed an issue with the bike while you were riding it. What did you notice?
I didn't notice, so I went stop. The back wheel started wobbling, the brakes weren't working like they should have, and it was like it was locking up. They kept sliding me to the side there into the curve that I was coming into.
And that's why you say you're not responsible
That's
for
why I say
damages
I'm
to the
not
bike
responsible,
because the accident
clearly
was caused
he gave me a bike that was broke.
You were charged with a felony, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were charged with more than one felony, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were also charged with a misdemeanor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And one of those felonies, 2 of those felonies related to you evading the police and not responding when they signaled you to stop, sir.
Yes,
Correct?
Your Honor.
And you went to court,
Yes,
right?
Your Honor.
And you had an attorney, correct?
Yes.
And you consulted with that attorney,
Yes, Your
right?
Honor.
And you chose to plead guilty.
I did that, Your Honor, because who can be the cop's word against my word?
Someone who's telling the truth.
I ain't never seen it. I mean, you're gonna believe her word over my word. If
So do you want to take back your guilty plea and take your chances and go to trial? Is that what you want to do?
And now, Judge Faith rules.
You stood before court and you said, I will take this plea. I did this action. You allocuted before the judge. I was a
suffered
prosecutor for
enough
years, sir. I know how
problems.
this works.
I just wanted it done and over.
You told your story about what happened that night. Now I'm going to tell you mine because your story was a doozy. You were joyriding. You were going too fast. The police saw you. They started pursuing you. You knew that you didn't have a valid driver's license.
I didn't make
you didn't
it
want to
2
get
miles
caught.
on his
You didn't
bike
want to
that
get
just about
arrested.
killed me.
So you kept going. You kept speeding, and you tried to evade the police. You crashed, and that's how you got flipped over the bridge and into the embankment. It wasn't because the brakes were faulty. It wasn't because there was an issue with the bike. It was because you were trying to avoid going
No,
to jail,
'cause there
and
were
that didn't work
faulty
out for
brakes
you
on the
anyway
bike, and
because
he
you
knows
ended
there
up
was
pleading
something
guilty to a
wrong with it.
felony and going to jail anyway.
No, Your Honor.
I empathize with you being injured and having to go to the hospital and suffer from those injuries. I really do. But sir, you put yourself into that situation by speeding and not stopping when the police tried to pull you over.
The cop only passed me, so how can you pull a person over if
Listen, you
you're
can
never
stick with
behind
that
the person?
story. That's fine. You can stick with the story, but I'm just letting you know I know the truth, and what you're telling me is not the truth.
You wasn't even there neither. See, that's the whole thing. I've never got to speak. You wasn't there just as well as these.
I didn't have to be there. I'm not at the scene of every incident, every accident that comes before me. My job is to look at the evidence, hear the testimony from the witnesses, and make a decision, sir. The only way that I can find that the plaintiff owes you for medical expenses is if I were to find that he were somehow negligent in
Did
this
he
case.
ever have the bike checked for faulty brakes?
Let me finish. And I don't find that any negligence occurred on the part of the plaintiff. I believe the accident was your fault because you were speeding. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in this case. My judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,053, and on your counterclaim, sir, 0. Have a good day.